Action.
Hi
Sit
everyone
tight.
and welcome.
I'll tell you what, you can fucking do it if you want. I'm so tired, I don't care.
I don't know
Go
why
on, do
people
it.
do it. I really don't know why. I think people do it because it's just what people do. I think they listen to other people's podcasts and go, well, this is how you start a podcast.
It's
Or
monkey see, monkey do.
you'll have some equivalent of a podcasting, you'll have a podcasting equivalent of a social media influencer who says, this is how you do a podcast. And we go, hi everyone, this is OTT episode number 21, the number one rudest thing you can ever do. This is me and Connor Benham. Connor and I, we work to help business. Oh, fuck off.
It's not good, is it?
Your fucking listeners have already fucking died.
Yeah, we're tired. John's
We're tired and grumpy. Tired and grumpy.
Tired, grumpy, but we're still handsome.
And still laughing about the 65 litres of fucking cum. Although, to be fair, having seen how pretty Vicky looked this morning, that's nearer 70 litres now.
Yeah, Vicky Labouchediere, who spoke at our event
She's
today.
worth at least an extra litre anyway.
She is.
Vicky.
She did. She looked lovely today, and the clients loved her little spiel, didn't they?
Yeah, she's all right. I mean, I like Vicky a lot. I've got a lot of time for her because she's helped me a lot personally as a coach. And she's a good mate as well. And we've worked together. She, I and Kevin, her husband, bloke, we've worked together with a client before. They're good people.
Yeah, I need to pay her again and do the judgment index. I benefited greatly from it when I did it with her a while ago.
It's worth doing. I did it twice and my score didn't change. There were some anomalies in mine, but we figured out probably because of my lack of neurotypicality. But it was still pretty accurate. I think she was frustrated because what came out of mine was I don't need to do any work on anything. It was no, seriously, because she says this isn't something you pass or fail, but you appear to have passed this. Because all it does, it indicates areas where your judgment might not be brilliant and you might need to work. There's not really any areas you need to work on. So from that perspective, you've passed if there is such a thing. All right, fine.
I'll tell you what, I'll probably do it next month when I'm finally settled in the new
Put
house.
It through the biz. I tell you what we could do, get Holly to do it too. So she'd benefit from that.
She would benefit from that. You've passed it, mate.
Yeah, I don't need to do it again.
We've saved what, 500 quid there.
I don't know how much it's about 125 quid, isn't it?
I can't remember. I thought it was more than that, but then again,
I don't know. Whatever. Anyway,
you might have got the mates rates from Vicky.
I'll tell you what, I pay her some fucking mates rates, all right, mate.
Yeah, I paid whatever she asked for because I had to pay for like 2 hours after to try and work through some of the shit that came up. But the thing is, today was a good day. I didn't even know where I was going to go with that. I'm so fucking tired. John.
Yes. Oh, I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
What's the number one rudest thing someone can ever do?
Well, you know what I reckon? Bearing in mind rudeness is a subjective thing. Because I often get accused of being rude. And sometimes I am. I know I am. I'm doing it deliberately. But by that, I mean, I'm saying something I know someone else is going to find offensive. And I'm doing it because I want them to find it offensive. That would be rude. But often rudeness is something which is subjective in the sense that the person who's done it doesn't even know what they've done or doesn't consider it to be rude, but the person it's been done to does.
Yeah.
Well, the very fact two people have got different opinions about it means it is subjective. Yeah. But also, and I've asked people this and they won't answer. It's not they can't, they won't. But what I will say is, okay, so you say that my behavior was rude. If I don't know what the rules are and I break them, is that rude?
Yeah.
But they don't want to answer that one. And that's a genuine thing because often autistics like me, we don't know what's rude. For instance, some people have said not making eye contact is rude. Well, fuck you. It's uncomfortable. It's distracting. If I'm looking at you, watching you closely, I'm not listening to what you're saying. Wouldn't that also be fucking rude?
Yeah, people don't realise that you're getting the most attention from John if he's not looking at you. So if you're talking and John's got usually fiddling with his hat or his hands are on his head and his head is down, That's the best. You're going to get the best answer ever. You've got a problem if John looks alert and is looking at you. You really do. You're going to get some fucking shit. I can't hear you. What's happened, John? I can't hear you. I don't know if it's me or you. Hang on, Marvin. Please cut this out. Speak. Yeah, sounds a bit weird. Say a sentence.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Yes, I can hear you.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Perfect. You're back.
Right. Pick it up again, Marvin. I'm not. I know what happened there. My microphone cut out. But I don't know why. It switched itself off. Anyway, Vicky the Boosh said to me, "I've noticed something about you, John." This was after a meeting. And she said, "I said, what's that?" She said, "When you're listening, you put your head down." And she said, "People who don't know you might think you're either asleep or just not paying attention." But she says, "I know when you're doing that," she says, "I know you're paying attention." And the way she picked up on it was because she said, "You will then raise your head at some point and say something which stops the meeting dead." And everyone goes, "Fuck, wow, yeah." And Kevin said the same thing. He says, "Yeah, you say one thing and it changes the conversation completely. And it shows you've been paying attention, but also thinking while it's going on." Well, duh, that's what this autistic old cunt does. So please don't tell me I'm rude for not making eye contact because it somehow disturbs you. I think it's fucking weird that you fucking neurotypicals spend all your time staring at each other's eyeballs. I mean, how fucking weird is that? Why? What do you do that for? Fucking hell. Anyway, the rudest thing you can do, bearing in mind it is subjective what we've just said, one of the rudest things I think you can do is offer your opinion on someone else's business, if you like, when they haven't asked for it.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time. It happens on LinkedIn. It happens in the street. It happens everywhere in your life. Well, I don't think that you should be doing that. I don't think. Well, like that. Good fucking case in point. Right, yesterday, arrested for saying something unpleasant about Captain Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as we think he's probably, I can't say I know much about him but from what I do know, he does seem the sort of man that deserves respect.
I agree.
He never deserved anything. But you should not be arrested for sharing an ill opinion.
No, if you don't like his opinion, you don't have to comment on it by phoning the police and getting this man arrested. You can just ignore it.
It's like It's like cyberbullying. People when they get cyberbullied. It's like, just close your fucking eyes, turn off your computer, walk away.
Yeah. So, but people insist on poking their nose in. I mean, that poor bloke who got arrested. Yeah, what he said might have been grossly offensive to a lot of people and crass and ignorant and the rest of it. But to arrest someone for it, and if you're the person who made the complaint, what the hell does that make you? A complete tosser. Somebody said something hurtful, and I'm going to have an opinion about it and ruin their life. For fuck's sake, grow up.
It's an opinion again. It's literally just an opinion. To go back to the whole rude thing, I've been told I've been rude for interrupting people and telling people like, no, that's not on. Here's what we should do instead. Oh, that's rude. You should let someone finish. And I was like, well, I find it rude. They're wasting everyone's time with some shit advice.
Yeah.
And I think it's perfectly polite for me to save everyone time and set people on the right track. It's not rude. It's right.
No, you'll even get called rude. And this has certainly happened to me. You get called rude for turning people away because they can't afford my services.
John, you should offer it for £100.
Yeah, no, 97.
97, sorry.
Because we're all in the same boat, remember?
Yeah, can't do three figures.
Yeah, people said it was rude. You're just rude. Well, how is it rude? And not only is it my fucking business what I charge for my business, but also it's saving your time. I'm not sitting here waiting for you to finish on this long fucking pity party speech about how much help you need, and then I'm then telling you no. I'm stopping you dead. No, that's not going to work. You ain't got the money. Fuck off. I've been told it's rude to make people book an appointment to speak to me. My ex told me that. My ex-wife told me that. Fucking hell, she wants to think she's lucky to speak to me at all.
Yeah, especially about the matters she wanted to speak about.
Oh yes, let's not even start on those because I'll end up ranting before time. But yeah, I think offering an opinion to someone, and some smart ass will say, "Well, that's what you're doing right now. I'm offering an opinion, but I'm not forcing it down your throat. What I'm not doing is I'm not forcing it into a conversation. If anyone listening to this podcast is doing so willingly, it's not like I'm cutting this and posting it through someone's door, yeah, or interrupting their fucking LinkedIn diatribes with my own opinions.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Passing an opinion on. Well, I don't like that. Well, I don't give a fuck what you like. Why are you even bothering me with this?
What's the thing you say about opinions and penises?
Oh, penises, yeah, and opinions. Well, it's okay to have one. An opinion is like a penis. It's perfectly okay to have one, but it's not okay to push it in someone's face unless they ask you to.
There we go.
Or
opinions are like arseholes. We've all got them and they all stink.
There we go. I like that one better.
So, offering someone your unsolicited opinion on shit which is none of your business, to me, is probably the height of rudeness. Yeah, and then when you knock it back and tell them how fucking irrelevant their opinion is and how unimportant they are and what a cunt you think they are, you are the rude one all of a sudden. Well, what's rudest? How can it be rude to tell someone you're an irrelevant non-entity and I don't give a shit about your opinion or what you think? How can that be rude when them offering their opinion in the first place is not? I just do not understand it. Now, is this a neurotypical thing or is this a John thing?
It's a neurotypical thing, I think, because it's especially a British thing. The unwritten rules of the British culture. There's a whole book dedicated to it, which apparently it was written to help foreigners visiting the country. But the country it sells the most copies in is England, because us Brits have self-deprecating humour. So apparently Brits just buy it to laugh at themselves.
Oh, you'll have to let me know what that is. That sounds quite amusing. Is it very British problems, that one?
No, I'm pretty sure it's got British rules in the headline somewhere.
British rules. I'll have a Google while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, have a Google. It's sold a fair few copies. People are just precious, aren't they? They're just precious. I think that's what it comes down to. And it comes down to ego, much like anything. They're then embarrassed that they've been told their opinion is irrelevant, when deep down they probably know it's true, especially when they're unqualified to hold that opinion.
A complete book of rules? Why, no.
It's written by a woman.
Ellen Fane, The Complete Book of Rules. Watching the English, the hidden rules of English behaviour. Could be.
It could be. I know what the cover looks like.
Is it an umbrella? Two people sitting under an umbrella.
Are they on stairs?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're on rows of seats.
Yes, that's the one.
And they're green.
Yes. Green. Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Shall invest in that one then. That was like a good book. I tell you who is a good author, worth reading.
Go
on. Bill Bryson.
Yeah, what does he write?
I don't know how you describe them, really. Kind of amusing little, almost anecdotal histories. Notes of a small island, things like that. Talks about how England and Britain got to be like it was. Very erudite, very English, very clever. Although I think he's an Australian. Great reads. I'll dig out some titles for you. But anyway, people's opinions. I mean, why? And we were alluding to this the other day. When you tell people, I'm not interested in your opinion, I don't give a fuck what you think, they'll come out and say, well, you must do because you said you don't. So that must be the most stupid thing ever.
It's like when teenagers discover reverse psychology for the first time, and then all of a sudden they're trying it all the time. Well, I didn't want to go anyway.
All right, cool, we're not going. Oh, well, that's not fair.
Uh, People need to realize their opinions are irrelevant. John, can you please tell them why their opinions are irrelevant?
Well, yeah, three reasons for the most part, right? The first is they're relevant because they're kind of mostly subjective. You know, we're not talking about doctors' opinions here, which
Yeah,
is not quite the same thing. You know, a professional opinion is usually based on experience and wisdom and knowledge and all that kind of thing. We're talking about unsolicited opinions from people who just have an opinion. So, firstly, they're irrelevant because they're mostly subjective, and it's just how that person sees the world. So, maybe religion. Religion is just an opinion. My opinion on how someone's opinion on how the world came to be. It's not based on any fact. And people will say, well, you can't disprove it. Well, no, but you can't disprove my claim the earth was made by a 17-foot tall hedgehog called Fred. You can't disprove that either. But if I was to claim that, really, you'd call me an idiot, and quite rightly too. Just because your fucking claim to God is somehow more mysterious or maybe not more long-standing, it's somehow got greater credibility. How does that fucking work? You trace any fucking claim to religion back, it goes back to one man, whether it's 1,000 years ago or last week down the pub, you know? It's just a longer trail. So they're just subjective. One man's meat is another man's poison. You think something's rude, I don't. You think something's offensive, I think it's funny. You think it's funny because of one thing, I think it's funny because of another. There is no objective truth written anywhere. None of these holy books, the fucking stone tablets from the Mount, none of it's real. It's all made up. It's all someone's opinion. And just because 99% of humanity might agree on one thing, yeah, you say saying what everyone else agrees, that doesn't make it all the more true or any more true. Just because a lot of people believe in Islam, a lot of people believe in Christianity, doesn't make the claims to those religions being objectively true any greater. It just means there's a fucking lot of wrong people out there. So that's the first thing. They're irrelevant because they're mostly subjective. Often their opinions are relevant because the people having them are unqualified. Airline pilots talking about pricing. Random twonk who works in a fucking warehouse talking about daily emails. Oh, I wouldn't like to receive that. Also, fucking what? You probably can't fucking read, mate. You know? People's opinions on, say, religious people living in Aberdeen having opinions on gay couples getting married in fucking Brighton. They're unqualified to have those opinions because they live nowhere near you. It doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form. It's absolutely none of your fucking business. When other people's opinions are none of our business. They're just not. And the third thing is often opinions are based on incomplete data. Yeah, that's a kind of different, it's a facet of being unqualified. But the person might be informed and educated, but uninformed or ill-informed about what the opinion they're having an opinion on. So someone might say to me, what's your opinion of the way they're rolling out the vaccines for COVID? I don't have one because I don't have enough data to say. Yeah, I'm probably qualified to form an opinion given the data because I'm not stupid and I know how stats work. And I'm not entirely ignorant about supply chains and things and how pandemics work. But I don't have enough information, so any opinion I had on how well or badly it's being handled wouldn't really be valid. So I just don't know. Same as when people say, what's your opinion on a certain court case or an unpopular verdict? I don't have one because I wasn't in the courtroom and didn't hear all the evidence. It makes me laugh. I mean, sometimes we get shock verdicts, but most of the time, juries will come to what's probably the correct verdict because they've heard all the evidence. Hey, I mean, it may be they've been lucky with the lawyer or something, but for the most part, it works pretty well. It's the best system we've got, pretty much. I think for some complex cases, you're better off with judges and more qualified.
Yeah, I agree.
People than a jury, but for the most part, it works okay, and it works okay because you've got people looking at all of the evidence. Whereas just someone who's read the Daily Mail and has got this thing about beautiful, well, they haven't seen all the evidence. They've just seen the beautiful headline. You know, for instance, there's a guy some years ago who, long after the fact, was hounded by the press because he had an affair with a girl who was 15 and he was a teacher. Now, at the time that happened, it was illegal, but it was not illegal in the same way it's illegal nowadays. The laws about what do they call it when someone's in a position of authority, abusing the authority position. That wasn't a thing in those days. He just had to leave his job being a teacher and went back when she left the school. And of course, she was 15 going on 16, and he wasn't a paedophile because she knew what she was doing. And I think they actually got married and had children as well afterwards. So he wasn't a paedophile. He broke the law for sure. But when it happened, it wasn't as big a deal as it would be now. But of course, the Daily Mail reader, paedophile. You know, it's just, again, unqualified opinions. So those are the three main things. Unqualified people, irrelevant because they're subjective, and also they're just based on incomplete data.
Rules to live by, they are.
Well, people should just fucking mind your own business, for fuck's sake.
It's what it all comes down to, ego, mate. You know, often these conversations, when we try and get to the end of the string, if there ever is an end, but at the end we often choose to stop at is the fact that people's egos are far too big, far too powerful, far too precious.
I think you're right. I think when you tell someone, I don't give a shit what you think, I think they get so offended by it, and to the point they will deny that you mean that really, and you must care what I think because you say you don't. I think the reason they do that is because they cannot stand the thought you don't give a shit what they think.
Yeah.
Their ego won't allow them to accept the fact this person really doesn't care what I think. I mean,
I know it's not the topic of the podcast, but fuck me, people really need to do some reading into how, well, the book Ego is the Enemy, because it really is. The minute I read that book and started to make adjustments in life, I've never been more content. My ego was the cause of pretty much all discomfort in my life because I was so worried about keeping up appearances and this, that, and the other. Pathetic.
Yeah, it is pathetic. I mean, I don't think it's pathetic per se. I think people take it to the extreme where it becomes pathetic. Like people who have to have the last word. Because their ego means if they don't, to them, if they don't have the last word, if they don't speak, they've lost, and that matters to them in some way.
I'm probably saying pathetic because that's probably where I was at some point in my life. So looking back,
but I suspect most fucking teenage boys are at some point in their life,
especially one as arrogant and as cocksure as this one was.
It's like LinkedIn. People get into these and I get it, but it happens on Facebook too. And I'm sure it happens on Reddit and Twitter and all the other social media platforms. People get into the most bizarre arguments. But you think about it, they will actually get angry about it because they will say, I'm furious, this makes me really angry. They will write this and they will sit there for what's probably accumulates to hours and hours arguing with someone who might live thousands of miles away, whom they'll never meet and has no impact upon their life whatsoever, beyond their ability to enrage them by posting comments. I mean, how pathetic is
that? Do you want to know my new rule? It's been in place for about a month, I'd say.
Go on.
If I'm having a conversation with someone that I'm likely never going to have to deal with again, or in passing or sparingly, anything they say, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely spot on. Because they agree. I don't need to say any more. You're absolutely right. Anyway, I've got to go. You're absolutely right. Because
I'm sure you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you're spot on. I'm glad you believe that. Wonderful. That's great. So now when I've got a friend who says something racist or something, you're absolutely right. Anyway, it's time to go. Because I used to stand and argue.
I mean, I'll add to it sometimes. But there is no point. Because you're never going to change their minds anyway.
Yeah, there's no point.
I will sometimes say, I think you're absolutely right, and I hope you and your opinion will be happy forever after together. And just leave them to it. If someone insults me, I just take a leaf out of Epictetus's book, and I'll say, if you think I'm whatever, if you think I'm some kind of psychopath, if that's the worst you can think of to say about me, you really don't know me well at all. And leave it there. And they never ever come back to that because what can they say? Shit.
Is it Epictetus who said that?
I think it was. Maybe in Seneca. I don't know.
But it's a
incomplete data. Incomplete data.
So what's the wisest answer to what's your opinion, John?
Well, not always, but bearing in mind, no matter how much I know, there's vastly more I don't know. So the chances are, people asking my opinion at random, the chances are I don't know what I'll be talking about. So more often than not, the correct answer from my point of view is I don't know enough to have an opinion. I don't have one. So what's my opinion what's my opinion on the Chinese and how the Wuhan virus spread? I don't have an opinion. I don't know enough about it.
Oh, the worst type of people are the ones that get angry when you say that to them as well.
Well, they do.
Well, you must have an opinion.
Well, you must think not something. Why must I? Who said I must? Is there a law somewhere?
The thing is, they're usually not wrong. It's like, yeah, I have an opinion, but I'm wise enough to recognize it's incomplete and therefore likely incorrect. Therefore, I don't really have a real opinion. I have a formulation of an idea.
Take that example. What is my opinion of how the Wuhan virus spread? Well, I don't really have one because I have incomplete data. If I was pushed to say something, I would probably say there's a very good chance it wasn't handled properly in the first place. And then the Chinese government tried to cover it up. But of course, it was too late. That's not really an opinion. That's just a fucking guess. But that's as much as I can say. And that's as much as I would say.
An opinion's very strong. And people throw them around.
I wouldn't call that an opinion. I'd call that a random guess based on my knowledge of human nature.
It's an idea. It's an idea based on the current.
It's not even a hypothesis, is it?
No, it's not a hypothesis. It's literally an idea based on the information you have.
This could have happened
at that moment.
Yeah. But why don't people? Why people seem to find it weak, a sign of weakness to say I don't know, or I don't have an opinion. I don't know enough to know. I don't know enough to have an opinion on this. And I realise how frustrating that must be to someone who wants to have a meaningful conversation with me,
or a row.
Or a row, yeah. But if I don't know the answer to something, I will say I don't know. And the guys in foundations and main building elite will vouch for this. Very often, they'll ask to say, I don't know. I don't know the answer to it. I know what we can. Well, we can come up with some hypotheses. We can maybe make some conjectures, but I don't know. Don't know the answer to it, but I know where we can look to find it. If there is an answer, there might not be one.
We often say, I don't know. If I had to have an idea, it'd be this. Go look here.
Yeah. The thing is, gurus, and we are absolutely not guru. Well, I can't speak for you, I speak for myself.
I'm not a fucking guru.
I absolutely reject the claim to be a guru. But your average guru, an influencer on LinkedIn, has an opinion about everything and almost takes offense if their opinion is shown to be wrong or is argued with. Which again I don't get. I mean, they'll have an opinion on something they don't understand or have any knowledge about, and then defend this lack of this incorrect opinion or this random opinion, this unqualified random opinion. Bizarre.
Do you know what's even worse? Those people that hold ridiculous opinions that they have no right to hold, and when they get disproven, they double down on their opinion.
Oh.
It's like, I thought you were stupid before, but fuck me. I didn't know how stupid you could go.
I mean, the one that sticks in my mind, it's quite some time ago now. You might not even remember it, but do you remember there was one of these self-development guys, and he used to put people in a tent, I think, and fill it full of fucking smoke, and he claimed that it'd take them to a higher spiritual plane.
Never.
Well, we did it at one time, and people were saying we feel really quite ill. And he was going, no, just power through it. We get to this higher spiritual plane. And some of them died. And he went to prison. He went to prison for it. But because that was his livelihood, right? And that was his livelihood and what he did. He came out of prison and he basically said, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing because my work is too important. Your work is fucking killing people, you potato. But that's how entrenched he was in his opinion.
He doubled down on what manslaughter.
Yeah, I believe it was manslaughter. I think it was in the States, and I may have some of the details that was wrong, but that's effectively what happened. His work, his normal behaviour in his programs killed people, and when he came out of prison, he said, "I'm going to keep doing it because my work is too important to stop right now."
If he does it again and someone else dies, that's murder.
It might be reckless endangerment or reckless whatever they call it over there. It wouldn't be
even
murder.
if it happens twice.
No, it's not
I
murder.
suppose technically
No,
it's the
because
intent
murder
and
implies
premeditation.
Intent. No, murder implies intent. Premeditated murder is actually worse because that implies planning beforehand.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah,
That's
it's not a fit of rage.
Yeah, that's how I understand it anyway. Again, I don't have a strong opinion on it since I'm not a legal expert, but that's how I understand it.
Oh man. And I have to say, pretty much everything we've moaned about so far can be boiled down to people having egos that are far too large and far too idiotic. And
yeah. And I know why people think this, but they're wrong. People think I've got a big ego, and I haven't.
No, you're just confident. You know what you know, and you know what you don't know, and you're very firm when you're talking about something that you know. You even sometimes cut across me when I'm talking to our clients. You go, no, there's a better way, Connor, shut up. And it's like, fair enough. I don't take any offense to it because you know what you know.
Yeah. And I'm also very quick to say when I don't know something, which is most things. There's almost an infinite amount of information out there.
What do these faces mean, John?
Hey?
What do these faces mean? What do these faces mean? What's the
No
emotion
idea
on this face?
Oh, please. My daughter this morning, Holly, she took a screen recording of me on the Zoom thing, and my face is like this. And then she posted it to my kids' group, the Sprogs group, and they were all laughing at me. And Rosie says, "Why you look so sad?" And, do I? No, I'm not sad. It's just my resting bitch face. They were taking the piss.
Oh, how funny! Bless him. Bless him. I think this episode can be summarized as most people are idiots, have far too big egos, and therefore their opinions are irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before. People should just mind their own fucking business. You know? Stay in your own lane. Focus on what you know, what you're expert in, and improve. None of us know everything about anything. So we can all learn more about our area of speciality, but stay in your own fucking lane for God's sake.
Human society was never built for one person to be specialized in a broad area of subjects. It's been developed for people to stay in their fucking lane.
There was a time when you could be quite successfully like a polymath because, say, our knowledge of mathematics and engineering and maybe art was limited. So you could get a complete grasp of the knowledge of everything in those topics of the day, pretty much. But now that would be impossible. We have more subjects and we know more about all of them. So now I don't think there's time for any one person to know to become truly an expert in, say, nuclear physics and then mathematics and then ancient history and then engineering and then fucking haberdashery or shoemaking. There just isn't time anymore. That's just a guess. But certainly in the past, there were people in the past who would legitimately be polymaths. It's probably not the case anymore.
No, definitely not now. Definitely not now. But for the most part, people were born into coaling families and were destined to go on to be coalers, not fucking a coaler who can also fit your carpet. Yeah,
we were talking about this morning. We were walking the dogs, and we got up this narrow lane, and it was fucking brutal. It was coming up to the top of the hill. The wind was howling in. The hail was coming in horizontally. The wind chill took it down to about -7. It was fucking brutal. And I said to Sarah, you imagine what it would have been like for most of our history. Now here we are. I've got fucking waterproof and 3 layers underneath it. Wellington boots, a hat, and a fucking hood. I'm toasty, you know. Imagine what it would have been like not even that many hundreds of years ago, when you woke up in a fucking hovel with no central heating, no running water. You probably barely had any warm clothes. You didn't have much to eat, and that food you had to go out and find or fucking forage for or scrabble around for. You had back-breaking work in the fields if you could do any work. You had to go out and maybe catch food. You were probably scratching around in fucking fleas and lice all the time. You were dirty. You were fucking malnourished. You were downtrodden. What a miserable fucking life. It's amazing we survived so long to get to this point. And people moan about lockdown.
Oh God.
Fucking hell.
People need to realise.
Almost within my lifetime, when the Second World War was over just 20 years before I was born. So almost within my lifetime, right? Almost within my lifetime, 18 and 19-year-old men were flying Lancaster bombers over to Germany with a 45% chance of returning alive. And now we have people pissing and moaning because they're not allowed to go to the pub for 6 months and saying how it's ruined their lives. Grow the fuck up, you weaklings.
I'd love it.
Grow the fuck up.
I'd love a pint from a boozer, though.
Well, so would I, but that's not the point. I'm not fucking crying about it and saying how it's been so detrimental to my mental fucking health. I dare say, if you put those cunts in a fucking Lancaster bomber, they'd soon have something to complain about. I wish I was at home, not going down the pub. You can go down the pub. You can go down the pub, but you've got to go via Germany in a Lancaster fucking bomber. Honestly, people are weak. They're weak and fucking feeble and pissing and moaning. They've all got fucking opinions.
If you was offered the chance to become the sole dictator of the United Kingdom, would you take it, John?
Oh, fucking hell. Would I? Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you what, you'd all fucking suffer.
We should do a whole episode based around that. John's
if I was
society.
King. If I was fucking king. Well, actually, people have said to me I'd be a great leader. But I wouldn't be. I'd be a shit. Well, no, I would be a good leader. Sorry, let me correct myself. They've said I'd be a good politician. I'd be a shit politician, but I'd be a great leader. Because I don't do politics. I don't know how to do politics. I don't know how to be diplomatic, which would make me terrible as a politician. But as a leader, I think I'd be okay because my prime directive would be mind your own business. So I'd be aiming to create a society in which we all had the maximum amount of freedom with minimum government intervention.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Before the only 3 crimes you can commit is to harm someone's person, to damage or deprive them of the use of their property and defraud them in their contracts. So right away, a whole slew of so-called crimes, because there is no victim, disappears. You don't want to take drugs? You don't like drugs? Don't take drugs. You don't want same-sex marriage? You don't like same-sex marriage? Don't marry someone of the same sex. Don't like porn? Don't watch porn. Don't like something on TV? Don't watch TV. Whatever you want to make in those areas is entirely up to you. Leave people the fuck alone. You know? Let's stop this fucking victim mentality. So yeah, I'd be a fucking great dictator like that.
Oh, we should do an episode on it. We should.
If I was fucking king.
Yes. Do you know what I fucking hate as well? Is people that try and... No, I love marshmallows. Put them in hot chocolate. Mwah. But people that try and claim victimless crimes do in fact have victims.
Oh.
Do you not see how far you're reaching and extrapolating?
I know. People who say silence is violence. No, it isn't. Silence is silence. Why
can't you be indifferent? What happened to the days of being, I don't fucking care. I'm going to drink my beer. Fuck off. Leave me alone.
I remember some woman, because I talk often about the principle of non-aggression, where you don't initiate violence or aggression against someone. You know, that doesn't preclude self-defense or defense of another, but it means you don't go and try and enforce your will on someone with violence. If we all observe that, the place would be a much nicer place. This woman says, but what if someone needs something? So they need food. If you don't go out of your way to give them food because they need it, that's aggression. No, it isn't. That's inaction. What? It is not an act of aggression not to help someone. It just isn't. Look in any fucking dictionary you like. It is not an act of aggression not to give someone what they need. To take it from them, it is. But if someone comes to my house and says, I need your blankets, and I say, no, that is not an act of aggression.
No.
It might be selfish. There might be loads of things you could say about it to cast me as a moral fucking pariah, but it's not aggression. It just isn't.
And they're all opinions as well.
Stupid fucking people.
Anyway,
what I would do, here's what I would do, right?
Go on.
Seriously, if I was fucking dictator, I would build a wall.
All right, Donald.
No, let me finish. And you know what I would do with this fucking wall? There'd be a long one. I would line all these cunts up and shoot them against it. There'll be a long list of people up against my fucking wall. I wouldn't want a wall to keep immigrants out. I'd want a fucking wall to shoot wankers against.
So what sort of formula or structure would you use to decide shoot, not shoot?
I don't fucking know. I'd make it up as I went along, wouldn't I?
would you interview every citizen and person under your power?
Oh, fucking hell. That's a good question. I'll probably send out type form, daily emails to every citizen. I'll have a daily email. Get this right. Daily email to every citizen. I have to fill it in in the type form. I'd collate the results, right? And I'd have it go through active campaign, and I'd get a short list every day of, say, 10 people who answered the wrong way. That'd have a bench job.
It's in the deals function of active campaign.
Yeah, fucking works to me, mate.
Oh, it's not far off how we.
And there's something else they do as well. I'd have people shot at random, just to keep everyone on their toes. What did he do? Don't know. Shit.
People who deserved it, or just random?
No, just random.
So every day
completely
there'd be like
random.
Every day there'd be like a crystal nut.
A what?
A crystal nut.
Never heard of that. What is it?
Crystal nut. When the Nazis just went and fucked up the Jewish community.
Oh, yeah. I'd something like that. I just have people shot at random. And because they'd be going, fuck, what did he do? Don't know. Jesus. Must have been really bad. And it'd just be random, I'd probably have a fucking load of coins. Yeah. Sorry, mate, Connor. I know we were friends, but it's your turn today, mate.
Oh, so there's not even an exemption list?
Oh, of course there's an exemption, but you're just not on the list.
I'll fucking best be on that list. I'll best be your right-hand man.
I'd have a lot of groupies too, hot chicks.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
So not only are you a murderer, you'd likely be a rapist, because there's no way they want to be shagging you.
Oh, get off. They'd be fucking falling over themselves. They'd be my personal harem.
They'll be falling over themselves because they'd all be fucking disabled to want you. Can't walk straight.
Hey, Connor, I've got 65 litre bottles to fill up here.
Gonna need a helping hand.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh,
I'd be shit at that job because I've got no desire to lord it over people, genuinely. I mean, this is the problem, you see. Hasn't anyone stopped to think how fucked up politics is? Oh. There is an entire fucking strand of employment. There's an entire career to be made in getting people to vote for you so you can control them.
Yeah.
The last people we should be allowing into government are the people who want to be.
Yeah.
Seriously. The guy who's running the country or the girl who's running the country, that person should be the person who really doesn't want to do it. And they are going, for fuck's sake, I don't want to do this. Well, you got it. You run there for a year, so make the best job. And if you do a bad job, you're in for another year as well. So, which would be someone like me. I wouldn't want the job. I really wouldn't. It's not my thing, controlling others. So to make someone like me do it, we do a good job just to get out early, Yeah. Whereas politicians, they're not interested in doing a good job of it. What they're interested in is re-election. And they're all the same.
It's gross.
That's what they want. All they give a fuck about is re-election. Getting the job in the first place and then fucking keeping it. They're scum.
It's gross. It's gross. I've said it several times on this podcast before. It completely and utterly baffles me how you can be a career politician. It just baffles me. It just none of it. I can't comprehend how or why that is widely accepted in society.
It's not a fucking job, is it?
It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
What value do they bring to anyone? The whole idea of capitalism and of having a business or a job is you take something, you give value in return for value, and ideally you add value at every stage. What value do politicians bring? Seriously, nothing they do can not be done better by private enterprise.
Yeah.
Everything they do can be done better. Mm-hmm. There are probably some things we need a government to help us do. The things that are common to all, such as running a legal system.
Yeah.
So there's no favoritism, but it's minimal. We should have a minimal government, not some great big fucking spreading cancer that makes it illegal to own a fucking plant.
Oh, that's, yeah.
I mean, the war on drugs has been comprehensively fucking lost, and still they pour fucking money into it. How many years is the Tories and the Labour Party and probably the fucking Liberal Democrats and fuck knows who else they are now as well? Then we're going to be tough on crime. They've been tough on crime since before the Victorian era, and it's never worked yet. If it had worked, we wouldn't have crime anymore.
Yeah, you know, there's
and when you get a government that makes more and more and more laws all the fucking time, of course you're going to get fucking criminals because there's more things you can do to break the fucking law.
Oh, that's funny.
Stupid.
It's, you know, it's bad when
Stupid.
America, one by one, what they call it, the different states, one by one, seem to be making seemingly more sensible decisions than the supposed superpower we're meant to be.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, 16, 17, possession of cannabis was a big deal. You would probably go to, not at 16, you wouldn't go to prison, but you go to a detention centre. But you would be in deep shit. It would be a big deal. Now it's basically, it's not even, I don't know, isn't it been decriminalised in a lot of places? I'm unclear on that. But it's not a big deal at all.
It's where are you talking about?
The UK.
The UK. It's still Class B. So it's still a big deal.
But aren't there some jurisdictions where they just send you off and say if it's for personal use, they don't really give a shit?
So it really does. I believe the police have been given sort of discerning. Is that the word, discerning powers? So if they discern,
they can show discretion, or
they have discretion. So if it's a nominal amount, as long as he's not a cunt, it will let you go. But they can still fuck you up for a tiny amount if the cop is a cunt.
And if you're the wrong colour, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was a kid, it was a real big deal. And now, and it's just fucking stupid. It really is stupid. There are far more harmful things out. Look at alcohol. That's far more harmful, but no one gives a shit about it. I mean, you should. This is not the government's fucking place to protect us from ourselves anyway. It just isn't. And when people say, it's not about that, it's about the wider societal cost. Well, okay, there's a huge societal cost to people being fat.
Huge, massive.
There is. So if you are willing to allow the government to use violence to control your drug habits with a harmless drug like cannabis, surely you must be then on the grounds that it's this wider societal cost. Surely then you're also willing to allow the government to use violence to control what people eat and how much of it they eat and how much they exercise. Because let's face it, being overweight is a societal issue. Mm-hmm. Or let's listen to the fucking wailing and gnashing of teeth from the fat cunts about that one. And then because unprotected sex is also quite risky, does the government have a say in whom you can have sex with and how often and what kind of sex you can have?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Because hey, you're talking about a wider societal cost here. It's just excuse. It's just bullshit. It's just unthinking fucking bullshit from stupid people who want to control us.
The government sticking with that narrative is literally one of those retards we spoke about that doubles down on a stupid opinion, despite it being disproven multiple times over and over. I'll be hesitant to say this, but from my understanding, from what I've read, every country, state, yada yada yada, that has decriminalized drugs and regulated the market is far better for it in every sense of the word, economically, in terms of Portugal. There was quite a blue state in America that decriminalized everything quite out of the blue. I can't remember what state it was, but everyone was quite shocked. And they're already seeing the benefits of it. They've been able to cut their police force, funnily enough.
Yeah, the results from Portugal are outstanding.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah. And it's all about rehabilitation rather than throwing someone in jail.
But addicts, I mean, an addict, whether or not you believe they should be forced into this thing is one thing. But treating an addict for addiction is far better than throwing an addict into prison.
Yeah,
that serves nothing. It's just fucking stupid, and in my opinion, completely morally wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, should we do the rant?
Anyway, let's do the 1 minute hate.
1 minute
Wrap it up. I've got to get back on the blower to IKEA because they're fucking.
Rather you than me. I've got dinner to cook for me and Mrs. EBG.
I've got sleep to chase.
I've done tomorrow's email though.
Good man. Is that why you was 3 minutes late.
Yes, it was. See, I was queuing it up. Funny enough.
Nice. All right. Hey,
So,
Siri.
Good day.
No, you tell them what you're talking about first.
Slow and hesitant drivers.
Or no, shut up, Siri. That's going to be a good one, John. Hey, Siri. Start a timer for 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
Right, slow and hesitant drivers. I've got a fuck off big Land Rover, right? I'm not. It's not because I like big cars particularly, but where we live, it's useful. Big car, and it goes fast. And I'm heavy with the right foot, but that does not stop some fucking microcephalic fuckwit from driving just under the speed limit in a position, in a way, in a place that you can't get by them. How fucked up is that? If you can't drive at the speed limit, and even faster often, you shouldn't be on the fucking road. If you can't control your car at the speed limit, you shouldn't be on the fucking road. If you are so fucking, what's the word? Spatial awareness. Your spatial awareness is so bad, you don't know where your car is in the road, and you position it and hold up a long line of traffic behind you while you're turning right. You should be taken out into the woods. You should be shot, buried in a fucking shallow grave, dug up a week later, shot again to make sure you're fucking dead, and then fed to the fucking wild dogs that live there because you're a menace. Slow and hesitant drivers are the bane of my existence. If I was the fucking ruler, I would have slow and hesitant drivers taken out and murdered.
You're cheating.
I don't care.
You're cheating.
I don't care.
Oh God, let's wrap.
Now this comes from, I was the other day. We got an older lady. She was funny enough. She was out in Portugal. She got a boat down there. She came home. Mary is her name, and she's now in our bubble. So I call her and Mrs. EBG my bubblettes. She's 74, so there's nothing funny going on. Not
is this
a bit of granny fan? You know?
Is this the one you did the shopping for?
That's the one. Yeah, before she went to Portugal. Well, she came back from Portugal, and I picked her from the bus station in Cork because she got the plane into Dublin because there were no flights into Cork. Got the bus down from Dublin to Cork, and there was no way to get home. So I went to fetch her. And I haven't driven more than probably 10 miles in months. Go up to Cork, and you think the roads would be empty, which they mostly were. But there are enough fucking slow people on the road to make my life a misery. What is wrong with these people? That they drive, it's not just under the speed, they drive just so fast you can't get by them easily. And when the road opens out a little bit, or you can get by, they speed up. I'm thinking, you are doing this deliberately, you old cunt. And when you go by them, they're like this. Stiff-armed, looking up at the fucking ceiling. You know, what is wrong with them? And their cars are shitty. Little fucking tin pot, that's is it Nissan Micra? Little fucking Micra. It's a little bit like having the fucking Roman legions stopped by a chipmunk in the road, you know? Oh, we can't go by that. I've got this fucking great big Land Rover. Do you know who I am? I'm the future dictator of England. Honestly, why do they do this? I swear, I fucking swear, they hang around the corner. Jay, John's coming out now on the radio. Jay, he's coming out now. Right, everyone, pull out 1071. We got the Nissan Micro Brigade. Yeah, all of you, slow down. You're going too fast.
If you drive like a twat in a way that John doesn't like,
you're
also up against the wall.
On that fucking list, it's going to be a long wall. Something else to do as well, right? I build a wall around Birmingham, all the way around it. Then I just concrete it over and turn it into a fucking helipad.
Like the dome in fucking The Simpsons.
Yeah, just like that. or better still, I'd concrete it over. So you've got this fucking great big, well, what do you call it? Like a plateau, really. This great big landing pad. And I'd invite Elon Musk over to build rockets on it. That's what I'd do. I would.
Oh, God. I tell you, I've enjoyed this episode. We should do more when we're tired. We descend into
we get tired more often.
Yeah.
You
don't work hard enough normally.
No.
Wrap it up, John. I'm desperate for a slash.
Yeah, right. All right. Okay, so if you can pick out the nuggets of wisdom in this long rant that we've just done, and you want to make more money, less work, less hassle for your headaches by selling to better clients, attracting better clients, selling at higher fees, and having it all happen, you have the turgid and moist pipeline filled by systems behind the scenes, hands off and on autopilot. Then go to ottcollective.co.uk and join us in the Facebook group, or apply to join us in Foundations, get a help one-on-one and do crazy stuff like we're doing today in our group. And for that, you email Holly at growyourbusinessfast.co.uk. In the meantime, stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands, don't drive like a complete fucking cunt or I'm going to shoot you, and don't shit on your fingers. See you later. Ta-ra.